Houston,
girl.
And the problem's name is LeBron James and Luke Kennard. Let's start with LeBron. 19 points, a game-high 13 assists, and that's a biggie. The shorthanded Lakers, they capitalized with no KD in Game 1. LeBron, he became the oldest player, again, adding to that list of oldest player to do things, to have 10 assists in a game in NBA history. But it wasn't just LeBron's playmaking, right? The Lakers' defense. It showed up. It showed out. We've seen it over the course of the season. According to Genius IQ, the Lakers held the Rockets to 38% shooting on shots within 10 feet of the basket in Game 1. Hello, DeAndre Ayton. That is the lowest rate allowed in a Lakers game in this season, which is pretty impressive. But of course, the story of the game is Kevin Durant. He's out after that injury to his knee. Do we know yet his status for Game 2, Brian?
We will, later today, they will release an injury report. And look, nobody knew about this until Friday afternoon when they released the injury report ahead of Game 1. And all of a sudden, Durant popped up as questionable. Right. He went out and warmed up before the game. Look, Kevin Durant has a long history of playing through injuries in the playoffs. In fact, potentially to his detriment when he had that Achilles injury after the calf injury. So this is not a question of whether Durant wants to go. The fact that he was unable to go changed the dynamic of the whole game, potentially could change the dynamic of the whole series. While I agree with you, Malika, that DeAndre Ayton had an excellent game, in fact, outplayed Alperen Şengün.
And that cannot happen if the Rockets want to win this series.
Oh, completely. But you can't credit the Lakers' defense without acknowledging that the Rockets' offense is a mess without Durant.
Completely agree, because, you gave the great numbers about how they miss shots in the paint or at the rim. Well, that's sort of what happens. That's just the team that they are. They know that they're getting sagged off on the three-point line, so they force a lot of shots. But again, you have to credit, because this is one of the best offensive rebounding teams and overall rebounding teams in basketball. And when you're deficient of two of your top stars, to be able to still rise to the occasion, I just love what Luke Kennard actually said after the game. He said, what is it like playing with LeBron James at this age, being that effective? And he said he still trusts us. And to me, that was really special. The fact that it does not matter that we have 40 plus points on the bench. He trusts us to make the shots when it matters most. He was 5 for 5. Was it 16? 5 for 5 from 3 for Kennard. He had 27 points.
He should be taking 10 threes. Tell him to take 10 threes a game.
Yeah, that will be, and he will get full Amen Thompson treatment when he comes in.
How many threes did the Lakers take in that game?
Only 19. This was such an odd, Bobby.
But here's the question now. We're looking at, would you take Amen Thompson off Luke Kennard and put him on LeBron James? That's the other thing. There's a lot of, every game is a different, there's a 7-game series, but everything is different game to game. So if you're Houston and you have no Kevin Durant, who played 71% of possessions this year, all of a sudden is not playing. Now, for Game 2, if Durant can't go, now do you start Tari Eason, who came off the bench and gave you a good lift? Or do you put Thompson on LeBron here? Because without Durant, your offense is a mess.
I like the Thompson on LeBron, because the only way you can slow LeBron down is by changing his vision, and he's physical, and he can do that. And also that helps your offense, because if he can disrupt, now you have a shorter court for him, and instead of making those threes that they want to force him to do, he actually can get down.
All of that is fine. All of that is good, smart strategy basketball. Somebody in the Rockets got to make a shot. Reed Shepard, 6 of 20, Şengün, 6 of 19. They got to score some freaking points. That's the pathway right now.
And because the question becomes, does Kevin Durant fill that void? Does just having KD back solve their issues? And over the course of the season, as much as Chiney's saying, it didn't at all times. Friends, we're in it. We're here.
I'm talking about in it.
It is the best time of the season. Wendy, can you feel it?
Yes, absolutely.
He can feel it. Here's what the bracket looks like after a weekend of Game 1s. The most surprising win? Probably the Magic, right? I was in Oklahoma City. The forecast, it was a thunderstorm.
Stormy.
Yeah. OKC, the odds-on favorite to win the West, trying to become the first team to repeat since 2018. They demolished the Suns, Chiney, by 35 points. Does anyone happen to remember what they did to the Grizzlies Game 1 last season?
In fact, I do.
What? Yeah?
I think it was 51.
It was, they kicked their butts by 51.
There it is,
right there on the screen. And then in the East, the Celtics, they're still the favorites to come out of the conference at DraftKings Sportsbook. Boston, they led the 76ers for all but 41 seconds of Sunday's Game 1. That 32-point win, by the way, the largest in a playoff opener in franchise history. And think of all the great teams that the Celtics have had. All right. Those are the blowouts, Bobby. Let's get to the good stuff. Let's get to what we've been waiting to see, and that's Victor Wembanyama in his postseason debut.
Extraterrestrial music on deck.
Yes, certainly. We're getting a little spooky. They arrived, though, in all black suits. These were a gift, right? A coordinated gift.
Luke Cornett.
Absolutely.
Kelly Olynyk. I've seen black when you're going to end a series, not when you're starting a series. They kind of got this backwards.
So maybe this was foreshadowing this move here from Victor, Bobby?
Oh, my goodness gracious. 7+
when
doing that?
Tim Duncan and David Robinson are impressed, then you've done something special. Wemby for the slam. Let's take another look at this one here, Chiney, that connection.
Hello, that's too easy.
And then later in the second quarter, Victor dribbles to the corner.
Not fair, again.
Hitting threes.
Shouldn't happen.
In this game, he had 21 in the first half. That's the most in a player's first half in a career, in a play-by-play era. So to the fourth we go. The Spurs up 18 here. This is really when they started to pull away. Wembanyama wills his way inside.
That's good defense. What do you want?
Great defense.
And then less than a minute later,
hand down, man down.
It's you, a guy that can do both. Hits the wing triple.
Put your hand up. What are you going to do?
Next
Good luck.
possession.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Washer, dryer, spin cycle, turns his way inside out, and then 5.5 to play. The Spurs up by 12. Wemby, he was hitting threes in this game. He finished with 35 points. Here's Wemby on the atmosphere that seemed electric in San Antonio.
It's great to see this many people wear their shirts. I love the animation when they say wear your shirt. Yeah, you should absolutely wear your shirt if you're coming to the game. The first time I stepped on the court, even for warm-ups, I felt the atmosphere was different. Everybody's ready. I mean, the fans were ready. It's probably the most excited I've seen this arena.
Big day for shirts, yeah? Victor, he also became the first player in NBA history to have 35 points and 5 3-pointers in a postseason debut. By the way, the only other Spurs player with 35 and 5 in any playoff game, oh yeah, that was Mr. Kawhi Leonard in 2017. So, Sinead, how exactly did Wemby change the game from your perspective?
Let's go. Let's go. It's that time. The playoffs demand more than a breakdown. It's time to focus on those who change the game when it matters most. And in his postseason debut, Victor Wembanyama is the youngest center at 22 years old to make at least 5 threes in a playoff game. Let's break it down because he's truly a 3-level scorer, and this is why I call him a game changer. Right here, he wants to play 2-man action with De'Aaron Fox. He's top block, so he knows the option's not there. What does he do? Fox sets a brush screen, he gets to the corner, and he starts going to work. And then he hits you with the beautiful step back. Watch the feet, but focus on the hands because the release, average wrist height, 9.7 feet.
Oh my God.
On his made 3-point shots. This right here is fully a cheat code, but it does not stop there because he's also got the handle. This was the play that had me off of my couch. Behind the back, attacking downhill, one of the greatest and most mind-blowing scorers. Behind the back, and then finishes there through the contact. How do you guard that? But it's on both levels because it's not just offense, it's also defense here. Kamara trying to attack him. No luck. That's an all hell no. I'm not going to shoot it. But then when you do shoot it, what happens right here? The rim is 10 feet. His reach, standing reach, exceeds that. Victor Wembanyama with a debut for the ages. No player scored when Wemby contested this shot. The sky is the limit, literally, for this guy, a true game changer.
Yeah, and he was doing it in so many different ways here. Really, it was the third quarter where they were able to create that separation, and Victor Wembanyama had his fingerprints all over this game. What did you make of this, Brian?
His confidence level right out of the gate. You know that he even said it felt different. You know, there was going to be jitters. De'Aaron Fox said he felt his teammates were jittery. 21 points in the first half. He instantly, I know he made the 3-point shots, but his first few looks were inside. He played inside out, which I always think is really going to make things much easier on him. You know, a couple years ago in the gold medal game, when he played in that huge game in Paris on Saturday night, the game of his life at that point, he had 26 points. He had the first basket of the game. He was not afraid. It did not surprise me he was not afraid. And, you know, I went and looked up some of the other star players of this era and their first playoff games. His performance here applies favorably, basically historically, and that doesn't surprise me at all.
You know what I would be concerned about if I was Portland, and it's not because of Victor or De'Aaron Fox not turning over. It's the non-Wemby minutes.
Yeah.
There was a stretch in that game where Portland came back in the third quarter and they took Victor out, I think at the 7-minute mark. He didn't come back until the 1-minute mark. San Antonio was a +8.
Right.
Devin Vassell, Stefan Castle,
Vassell was huge.
Dylan Harper, Luke Cornett on those lobs, a little bit miniature version of Victor there. That would be my concern, is that when he comes off the court, this San Antonio is a different way to look at them.
I do wonder if in Game 2 an adjustment we see is Donovan Clingan being put on Castle and putting Toumani Camara on Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, when Victor moves out of the paint, Clingan really has no remedy for him. And Castle was 7 of 17 in this game. And I think as we go on, people are going to challenge Castle's jump shooting. It's just the way it's going to be. It's not even so much of an insult.
Right.
What else can they do?
But even when they pack the paint, then Victor hit 5 threes in this game, Shanae.
What's interesting also as we talk about strategies, it's the physicality, right? Because I think lack thereof, at some points, he was not necessarily overtly doubled. He was not necessarily thrown off. I mean, you can only deal with what you have. If you're the Trailblazers, like, you can only deal with what you have. But Victor, I do think the offseason where he actually bulked up his body paid off. And also the IQ. Wendy, you were the first one saying when the season started, stop settling for those threes, get downhill and attack. And that's what unlocked him on the other side. And so, you know, I don't even know if there's a way to truly make a proper adjustment.
Denny Avdia was playing his first ever playoff game. He had like 10 in the first quarter, and he had 30 for the game. He played very, very well. I know the Blazers probably feel they can do better, but Denny answered the bell too. Victor was just higher.
Did you see that play where he was one-on-one with Victor and then hit him with a little physicality?
That's the way Denny plays.
And that's the way that they're going to try to get someone like Victor Wembanyama off the court. But then, as Bobby pointed out, they have to be able to capitalize on those minutes. But, you know, our friend, our producer, Matt Williams, he predicted that the Trailblazers are going to come back.
I don't like that prediction.
And how many games?
There's a cup of coffee. 6, he said. There's a cup of coffee that we have bet on it. I expect to have my coffee hot. Sticking in the West here, no Luka.